All right, my friends, I'm pretty nervous to announce this, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I will potentially be eating a ghost pepper tomorrow on a live stream. If you haven't heard yet, I am doing a live stream for charity tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are raising money for the American Red Cross and for the Marines Toys for Tots to provide toys for Christmas for kids who are less fortunate. And that stream, if we reach a certain milestone on the stream, I'll announce it tomorrow. I am committing to you right here, you and me right now, that I will eat a ghost pepper right here and then proceed to read the entirety of Revan's kit before I am allowed to have a drink. I'm really nervous, but that's what's going to happen, okay? So if you want to see that happen, if you're a sick person who likes to see people writhe in pain on camera, then come to the stream and donate towards a good cause. All right, Grand Arena is finally here. I am super excited for this game mode. You guys know I don't think I've ever been this excited for a game mode. Cannot wait to get going on this. And what I'm the most excited about is that we're going to have 3v3 in Grand Arena at parts, which I just cannot wait with, because I feel like that really adds a new exciting level of complexity to theory crafting. You know, take two characters out of that team. What are going to be the best trios in the game? In this video, I'm going to talk through 10 possible trios that I think will be outstanding in the Grand Arena. Now, I'm sure that there's others that will surface as we get to it, but these are the ones that I think will be good. Now, before you get started with Grand Arena, I hope you guys are not neglecting the importance of mods. Mods are going to make or break you in the Grand Arena. I almost guarantee it. Now, something I did recently is I actually contacted my friend Pimpo. I've got an ad here for him that you guys can read for a little bit more information, but he actually went through and remodded my entire roster. Now, I feel pretty comfortable modding my characters. I was a little bit skeptical of this at first because I felt like, no, the mods are kind of my babies, but holy cow, my friends, the difference on my arena team and on my territory wars defense and etc. has been outstanding. All right, now let's get to the top 10 teams. Now, these are not going to be in any particular order, but number one is probably in order. This is going to be the best team overall, I think, for trios, and that's the SITH Triumvirate. Okay, do we really need to say anything about that? The SITH Triumvirate is going to be the best trio in the game, in my opinion. I don't think that very many people... I mean, if I didn't include them on this list, I think that there would be hell to pay. So, the Triumvirate, obviously, if you've got them, they're probably going to be a great trio caliber team. The next one I'm thinking of is I want to divide the Jedi onto two 3-character teams. And so the two that I'm picking are Revan, Grandmaster Yoda, and Jolee. Being able to have that revive and also the canon that is Grandmaster Yoda on the same team mixed with Revan, I think will be a really powerful defensive team. Probably offense as well, but that's a team I would like to see on defense. Another one that I think would be really solid is Bastila with Ezra and General Kenobi. That, I think, would be a really good team, good way to utilize all of your Jedi so that you can have a 3v3 team, maybe a Revan team on defense, and then maybe the Bastila team on offense, which takes a long time to burn through. And when you only have 3 characters on the other side, remember, it's not just your team that's 3 characters, it's the other team as well. It's going to be harder to burn through that protection. The next team I have, number 4, and again, these aren't in order, but I think this will be one of the best offensive teams I can personally conceive of, and that is Commander Luke Skywalker, Han, and Chewie. Look, both Commander Luke and Han are going to have guard, and so every time you do anything, Chewie's going to be attacking. Every single time. That is just insane. The amount of DPS that team is going to be able to pump out is crazy. And so this is a team I would say hold this one for offense. This is probably going to be one of the go-to offensive teams for the Grand Arena that will be capable of burning through so much defense. So that would be, and remember, you're not just getting bonuses here for winning, you're also getting bonuses for how much health is remaining on your characters, for characters that have full protection and full health. So this might be a great team that can do a lot of damage and be fast enough and survivable enough so that you can realize those extra banners. Next on the list, I have got Bossk, Boba Fett, and Dengar. This is the core part of that bounty hunter team that a lot of you are running into on Territory Wars defense that makes the team miserable. If you're not able to take out one of these characters when you first go against it in Territory Wars, it's almost worthless to even post a score because they're what really keeps that team humming. Dengar is obviously super tanky, very hard to burn through and stealthed. a lot of the time. And then Bosk, as soon as he taunts, it's going to be very difficult. And Boba Fett with his execute, very, very solid. That trio, I think, will be a go-to defensive team. I would guess that would be where it would be used, not so much on offense, but more of a defensive team. And especially when you consider only 3 characters going against it, very hard to burn through. I think that trio will be very solid. Number 6 on my list is going to be Zeta Finn, Poe, and Resistance Trooper. Now, this is already a known solid trio. They've made splashes in the meta before. They would strictly be an offensive team. I would be really surprised to see anybody try to put these guys on defense. But if you can get that exposed train running fast enough, you got a Poe fast enough, Poe's going to absorb those hits. He's going to be able to land those exposes. You're going to have expose everywhere. The team's going to gain turn meter like crazy. Those cooldowns are going to be reset, and this team can burn through stuff fast, especially this trio of Finn, Poe, and Resistance Trooper, and there's a lot of DPS there not to mention. So I could see this team doing really, really well on offense. Again, not so much a defensive team, but probably a go-to offensive team to have ready for the Grand Arena. Next on my list, number 7 is going to be Palpatine, Thrawn, and Vader. Now, this team does not have a tank per se, though Vader is pretty tanky. This is going to have high utility when you've got the turn meter gain that you're going to have from Palpatine's leadership ability. Thrawn is going to have Fracture, and Vader, all of the DPS he can bring to the table with his Culling Blade. This team, in my opinion, will be very good. I think they're probably more of an offensive team. I mean, with knowing how this team functions without a tank, without anybody taunting, it's probably going to be pretty easier to burn through if you're, going against it. But from an offensive perspective, being able to land Fracture on the biggest threat, and then being able to just dish tons of damage with Palpatine and Vader landing those dots, throwing your saber at them, that could be a very solid 3v3 offensive team. Number 8 is the First Order team. Kylo Ren Unmasked, First Order Officer, and First Order Executioner. Now, I'm not 100% sold on this particular composition. I think we might need to do a little bit of experimenting in there, but I am really confident that Kylo Ren Unmasked and First Order Officer are going to be pretty solid. Maybe you want to sub Fox out for First Order Stormtrooper, so you can have that taunt there. I don't know, but Fox has so much DPS, it's hard to ignore Fox. Whatever the case is, Crew is really just annoying as heck to burn through with his Zeta leadership. Again, you would need to have Zetas, and all of these characters are assuming Zetas, by the way, on this list. And so this, to me, would probably be a really solid defensive team, but I think you could probably make it work on offense as well, just because First Order Executioner has so much DPS to bring to the table, and if you're able to target the right character and execute them with that special ability, then you're really going to have a lot of an advantage because you get an immediate turn cooldown reset as well. Number 9 on the list is going to be Asajj Ventress lead with Talzin and Zombie. Now, why not Talzin lead, you ask? A big reason for that is I feel like Talzin lead is very solid, but it definitely benefits from having more members on the squad because you're going to be able to resurrect those Night Sisters from the dead to attack, and she's also, obviously she can call the Mass Assist, but you really benefit from those dead Night Sisters that are able to come back and attack. When you've only got, a couple, 2 less characters on this team, I feel like that doesn't quite benefit you as much. Asajj, on the other hand, she gains you that speed, she gains you that offense, and that turn meter when you fall below 100% health. I feel like this leadership is going to be more valuable in the 3v3 set. Not to mention having Zombie there, super annoying, taunting tank, and you're going to have to find ways to avoid that to take out Talzin and Asajj before you can worry about taking out Zombie. Pretty much same old Night Sisters, so I feel like that's going to be the best Night Sister lineup. The biggest weakness I see is we're not going to have Daka there, and I feel like old Daka definitely adds a lot to a Night Sister team, but I feel like in 3v3 you're going to be able to get around that enough because, again, you're going against 3 characters as well. And then finally, the last team I have on my list here is Veer Stark and Shore Trooper. The Troopers are really solid and a great counter to both Night Sisters and Bounty Hunter teams in Territory Wars. That said, for a 3v3, will that remain the same? I think there's a pretty good chance. I think that this is probably going to be a go-to counter team for both of those sets as you start seeing them in 3v3 for an offensive team. Do not put this team on defense. They're not going to work very well on defense, in my opinion, but they're probably going to be a very solid choice so that you can get through some of those harder defensive teams in 3v3. All right, my friends, what do you think about my list? Again, these are top 10 3v3 teams in no particular order for the Grand Arena. I am sure that there are other compositions out there that we will discover as we acclimate to this game mode a little bit more thoroughly. But for now, these are the ones that I think you're going to want to have a close eye on as you start experimenting with it. What do you think? What are some other compositions that you think would be valuable? Let me know down in the comments below. And again, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing the charity live stream. Again, we're raising money for the Marine Toys for Tots and for the American Red Cross, both charities that I am personally a big fan of. And this holiday Christmas season, I think it's a good time to reflect on those that are less fortunate than us and find ways to make a difference. And I love this community. The Star Wars Galaxy Viewers community, in my opinion, is one of the most remarkable gaming communities I've ever been a part of. And I really feel like we can rally together and make a difference this holiday season. Merry Christmas, my friends. And as always, my brothers, don't forget
my dead body. Sorry about the mess.